Harmony One price update. Today's video, we're going to look at Harmony One in depth with several different moving averages. We're going to look at some indicators, namely the 5-day Gaussian channel. We're going to start here. So if you like the video today, give us a thumbs up. Follow us on Telegram if you want more content than what you see here on YouTube. Everything's linked below. So let's get going. Where do we need to be looking? Well, the top of the 5-day Gaussian channel right now for Harmony One is just north of 21 cents. So this candle is a 5-day candle. These are 5 days, right? So what we want to be looking for is a close above this, right? Go back in history. When we can get outside of it, then you can really get moving, right? You don't want to spend a whole lot of time in the Gaussian channel. Bitcoin has come down and held the median line here, just kind of similar to what Harmony One did back in July. However, we do not have to go all the way down here, right? We want to remain out of here and just, take a look-see in the Gaussian and then get the hell out. Because the longer you spend in it, it kind of acts just like as molasses or tar or syrup, whatever your favorite sugary thing is to get stuck in. So what we have to do is to get out of it ASAP Rocky. Close outside of it, hold it as support on the top line, then we can get moving again. Okay, so the 5-day Gaussian channel is key. It lets you know it has the least amount of fake out. So if you're wondering why not to use it on the daily, you can do that. But if you go look at the daily, then you can kind of see why, right? Look at all the reds and greens and, Christmas trees, right? You get too many fake outs, too much information. The sweet spot is the 5-day. Okay, so you can use it on any coin. If you're new to it, put it on your chart now, the Gaussian channel. Okay, let's go look at it and take that off, and let's just look at some simple moving averages. What do we have? Well, let's first of all go to the daily chart, and we're looking at our 21-day EMA exponential moving average, our 50-day EMA exponential moving average. So right now we're battling that 21-day. Historically, when Harmony One and most coins get going, they hold not only both of them, but they actually start holding the 21-day pretty well and get those bigger moves, right? So that's what we need to do. And step one, close above the 21-day. Step two, close above the 50. And then we need to flip these, right? We need to get you want your moving averages sorted least to greatest. So you want your 21, your 50, your 100, your 200. If you're struggling to follow there you go. There's your 100 and your 200, right? So this is what you want to be doing, and you want them sorted out. See how sorted these are? Least to greatest with spacing in between. That's when your massive bull moves come, okay? Right now, we're just tangled up in the spider webs. We got to untangle the spider webs and hopefully not get bit by, what do you call them? What's the most dangerous spider? I don't know, funnel web? Let's go with funnel web. Don't look those up. You give you nightmares. So let's go look at the weekly Harmony One charts. You're Googling it right now, aren't you? Don't do it. We tested the 50 week. This is now 50 week. Why? Because we're on the weekly chart. So when you flip charts and time frames, the same lines flip to weekly, right? If you went to the monthly, this would be the monthly, right? But we're on the weekly. So this is the 21-week EMA. And again, historically, you run into that. Bitcoin's a real good example of this. You can look up Ethereum stuff, coins with a lot of data. You can see that the 21-week EMA is simply kind of the bull market, not so bull market, right? You see that. And right now we're coming up to it, holding it as resistance, and that is currently around the 22, just shy of 23 cents. So if we get above that and hold it as support again, big things can happen again, right? Look at this. So that's what you need to be focusing on. Step one, the daily chart. If you want the bigger picture, if we can hold support around that 22.5, 23 cents, the 21-week EMA, then Harmony One can get moving again. So it's doing well. Let's go look at a couple other things. Let's look at Bollinger Bands, right? So that can kind of tell you the momentum of certain moves or where you are. 95% of your price action, whatever your coin is, happens within inside those Bollinger Bands. So let's take out some moving averages, clean up the chart a little bit. There we go. So this is the weekly. This is a bigger picture. Right? You don't always have to go to the bottom of the bands to get a move back to the upside. I mean, look right here, right? We broke under the median line. Harmony One remained pretty bullish, and there you go. Yeah, it came out of it pretty easily. So same again back in December. Harmony One hasn't really touched the bottom of the weekly Bollinger Bands ever in history. So we want to continue that trend And our next target would be that 25-cent area, which is the weekly median line. If we could do that, you can see once you get bullish, you start holding that. If you want an even bigger picture, go out to the 2-week chart. And this is pretty big. Maybe you haven't even seen this before. Harmony One tends to respect that median Bollinger Band line on the 2-week chart. Look at this. Back in June, July, right? Holding support perfectly right there. Okay, we held it again in November, the drop, December drop, right? Perfect support, perfect respect to that median 2-week Bollinger Band. And we closed again right there, the last candle. Look at the 48% 2-week candle. Rough. That is a correction and a half. Okay, so we're holding support. We're moving back up. I would like to repeat that, right? Go back to retest the top of this now. We're, approaching all-time highs again. So great signs for Harmony One if you have a big enough telescope. So zoom out when in doubt. And now we're zooming way in because I can't think of an in rhyming word. I'm not Dr. Seuss, okay? What do you want from me? But the Bollinger Bands, why are they becoming so narrow here? Well, the volatility is decreasing. So that's usually a good sign. Why? Well, go back in history. When the volatility bands narrow, a larger move is coming on any coin, not just Harmony One. The more narrow the bands get, the larger move is approaching. Now, we'd like to see a little bit of a tunnel here out of these bands. So over the next handful of weeks, maybe for the rest of February, we see something like this, right? And we just get real narrow, and then price action remains choppy in here. And then what you want to see ideally is these bands kind of opening again. The mouth opening like this, diverging away from each other, right? And then you want to see price action remain on top of this purple line. And then you kaboom, right? That's what you want. You want the kaboom to be technical. All right, so that's Harmony One. Hopefully on a couple different pictures that maybe you haven't seen, or maybe just recertify some things for you with Harmony One. So let me see. I think that's about all I wanted to discuss. So the big picture, right? It basically just trends up with time. Harmony One looking fantastic. And if you want more confirmation for your coins, whether or not they're great investments or not, just compare it to Bitcoin. If it's trending up with Bitcoin, like Harmony One is right here, over time, you're going to do pretty well, okay? This is Harmony One versus Bitcoin going back years, right? Excellent. If your coin looks like this, great coin. If your coin doesn't look like this, why not just hold Bitcoin? If it's losing value against Bitcoin, you're doing it wrong. Compare your coins against Bitcoin and less against US dollar. That's the future. Comparing your coins against Bitcoin is the way to do it properly. Okay. So that's it in a nutshell. Let's go to look at the Fear and Greed Index. Well, look at what we got here. We got a little bit of news. My picture's covering it. I get it. Okay, I hear your complaints. There you go. We'll move me way over here. We did something important. Let's get back on track here. Right, we hit a 45 back in December, right before Christmas time, and then guess what? We double topped yesterday, or the day before yesterday, and then look what we just did. 48. Those are little signs that could potentially be turning us around, right? A new high, higher high, reversing this downtrend. New higher high is the way to do that, right? We had our first one. We came up here, and then we retraced again and made a higher low, and now we made a higher high. So if we come back down again, just make a higher low. We could, sorry to say, but we could go back to 21 and still technically be in an uptrend for the Fear and Greed Index. But, this is, we can last down it. This is a longer, if you didn't catch in my videos recently, this is a longer time and fear and extreme fear than we spent back in here. Okay. So, are we going to go back down? Anything's possible, but my money's on reversing the Titanic without the icebergs. Okay. Let's see. Quote of the day. The sole meaning of life is to serve humanity. Yeah. All right, car of the day. We flipped it on you. We went to the luxury styles. Any guesses? Hopefully you got the Rolls Royce part. Which Rolls Royce? See if you're a real fan. It's the big boy. It's the Phantom. The Phantom. The Phantom. The two-tone Phantom. Even more impressive, right? And if you want a different color, maybe blue's not your style. Maybe black and white. That's pretty cool. Black roof, black trunk, black wheels. Although I'm not a fan of switching Rolls Royce wheels, because then you lose the center hubcaps. See them? See how the Rolls Royce is tinted? If you get the factory Rolls Royce, maybe you don't know, the hubcaps stay, centered. They have like the gyroscopic, so you always see the RR no matter if you're driving or not. Maybe you didn't know that. Maybe you don't care. If you're watching this long, maybe you like cars a little bit. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Name of the day.